And continuing on. And all this time, in travail, sobbing, gaining on the current, we rowed into the strait, Scylla to port, and on our starboard beam Charybdis, dire gorge of the salt sea tide. By heaven, when she vomited, all the sea was like a cauldron seething over intense fire, when the mixture suddenly heaves and rises. The shot spume soared to the landside heights and fell like rain. But when she swallowed the seawater down, we saw the funnel of the maelstrom, heard the rock bellowing all around, and dark sand raged on the bottom far below. My men all blanched against the gloom. Our eyes were fixed upon that yawning mouth in fear of being devoured. Then Scylla made her strike, whisking 6 of my best men from the ship. I happened to glance aft at ship and oarsmen and caught sight of their arms and legs dangling high overhead. Voices came down to me in anguish, calling my name for the last time. A man surf casting on a point of rock for bass or mackerel, whipping his long rod to drop the sinker and the bait far out, will hook a fish and rip it from the surface to dangle wriggling through the air. So these were borne aloft in spasms toward the cliff. She ate them as they shrieked there in her den, in the dire grapple, still reaching still for me, and deathly pity ran through me at the sight, far the worst I ever suffered questing the passes of the strange sea. So the epic simile here, I love this epic simile because if you've ever been fishing, you know when you catch a fish, what it looks like wriggling on the end of your hook. And that's more or less, it's kind of disgusting, but it's more or less the way he describes the way his men looked dangling from Scylla's mouth when she grabbed them. We rowed on. The rocks were now behind, Charybdis too, and Scylla dropped astern. Then we were coasting the noble island of the god, where grazed those cattle with wide brows, and bounteous flocks of Helios, lord of noon, who rides high heaven. From the black ship, far still at sea, I heard the lowing of the cattle winding home, and sheep bleating, and heard, too, in my heart the words of blind Tiresias of Thebes and Circe of Aea. Both forbade me the island of the world's delight, the sun. Dun, dun, dun! Tomorrow we will read about the cattle of the sun god. But for now, you need to complete all the questions for Scylla and Charybdis and the Sirens. I'm just double checking my papers right now to make sure, because I know I wrote on the board that you need to do all the questions. And yes, there aren't any of those strange little mapping questions or anything. So go ahead and answer all the questions. What you don't finish in class today is homework, and we will review them on Thursday.